Welcome back to No Man's Sky, everybody. Xxiou from Xxiou Games here once again. And hey, today we're going to talk a bit about the No Man's Sky Endgame. This question has come up a number of times in my stream, so I'm going to try and just answer it the best I can right now. I am recording this live, by the way, so there's not going to be any edits, so forgive me if it, runs a bit long. But I figured the best way to show you guys is just show you what I've done. Since this is my main save that I play, I don't really play too many other saves, and this is the one I've been playing since the beginning. Now, the first thing we need to figure out is what is No Man's Sky Endgame, and when does it begin? Now, the answer could vary depending on the type of player you are. Now, what I would say is Endgame begins when you have finished all of the No Man's Sky content that they provide for you to do. And what I mean by that is the primary missions here, as well as all these secondary missions. Now, some of these stay and kind of keep going on forever, and this stuff is just like, just there, exploration guide. This is what it'll look like after you've kind of completed everything. Now, for me personally, what I wanted to do after I completed all the missions and everything is I wanted to work on these milestones and rank all these up. So you can do that, which is a good bit of fun, especially the missions in the space stations. I feel like a lot of people I don't know if people enjoy those that much. I mean, they are repetitive and it is a grind, but what's cool about it is if you do it in different systems, you're going to be seeing a lot of different planets that you've maybe never seen before, and you're also going to be scanning a lot of things, getting discoveries, which you can use for nanites and things like that. So doing the missions is a lot of fun because I still think the best way, or the funnest way, to get units and nanites is by doing missions and exploring, just scanning things. And if you didn't know, guys, you can upload your discoveries, and look at that, I just got 2,382 nanites. That's just from going to different systems and scanning planets. So you can work on your nanite bank account as you're exploring. So normally what I do when I come into the game is, here we are on my freighter. So I've been spending a lot of time on this lately because we just got this freighter update recently, which really, really changed building on freighters. And it's really, really, in my opinion, a lot more fun than it used to be. You could make yourself a full Star Trek Enterprise if you wanted. Serious. Endgame for me started once I finished all of this, and I also maxed out every milestone that they have, because this stuff, guys, it ends. There's no more ranks after this. So once the ranks stopped, I just stopped doing them because, what's the point? Another thing is money. You might want to get into the trades that make you a lot of money and stuff like that, but there is a unit cap. You can only have so many units in this game, so money isn't really a late game thing. So yeah, really what I would say is once you finished all that stuff, then it's up to you on how you want to play this game. Now for me, my average play session, I will, like I said, I'll start on the freighter. Here, we'll do a complete run of what Xxiou does. So I usually save in here. All my frigate missions will be done. So I'm gonna grab the loot from all these, and then I'm gonna go sell the loot right here because I don't need much of it. And if you didn't know, guys, at this late point in the game, you'll have your freighter so upgraded, as well as your fleet, that those fleet missions, that's all you ever need to do for money again. So if you've even built money bases, you're probably not going to need them at this point. Because the fleet missions alone, once they're ranked up, they'll bring you back over 10 million units worth of stuff, which is plenty for a day. I mean, you could get more if you want, but Yeah, so normally we'll start off in the freighter, do the freighter mission stuff. I'll send the freighter missions back out. Then it really comes down to, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to do ship hunting or planet hunting or something like that. Some sort of hunt is usually what I do. Now, if you didn't know, there's 255 different galaxies in No Man's Sky. Now, let's just talk about galaxies for a second. Just so you understand, the different galaxies are not like crazy different. It's not like a different game when you go to a new galaxy. It's basically the same thing, except there are some variations to other galaxies. For example, some galaxies may be heavier on stormy type planets, while other galaxies may be heavier on beautiful type of planets. So that's the big difference, and there's charts for all this stuff online if you want to see which galaxies are like lush galaxies or harsh galaxies. So I would consider that kind of an endgame thing, galaxy jumping and checking out new galaxies for ship hunting. But yeah, so here we are. We just popped to a new system, and this is what I like to do. It's like, okay, so let's say we want to explore this system, right? Come here, we got our thing. Let's do a scan. What do we got for planets? Infested Paradise, guys. That's a cool planet. So, and a paradise, and a tropical too. So those are some cool planets. So we might want to check those out, and also check the ships in the system. So let's go take the old Blazing Yoda out and check it out. Now, another late game activity, well, I mean, this is an activity you'll be doing through the whole game, is building. Now, if you didn't know, like when you first start the game kind of makes it seem like that first base you build is going to be your base forever, but that is not the case at all. People have many bases for many different purposes. So you will build lots of bases for different reasons. Or then later in the game, you just might get into building bases for fun. Or builds, as I would call them, which are just like, you know, it's not really a functional base. Like, you're not having refiners and everything. It's just something nice to hang out and look at. So that's another thing that a lot of endgame players do, is a lot of building. And so, yeah, that's probably when I learned how to build the best, too, was when I just kind of strictly got into building, and I wasn't really doing too much else. Because it does take a bit of practice, especially if you want to be a pretty competent glitch builder. You are going to need to practice. I mean, it's as simple as that. Wow, look what we found, guys. Look at this. Look at this planet. Beautiful. Bubbles. Look at that. So one thing I would say to anyone who's kind of new to this game, or maybe if you don't have it yet and you're thinking about it, if you don't like the way this looks, like if this doesn't appeal to you, you're not gonna enjoy this game, I don't think. Because a big part of its appeal is the look and seeing things. Like, you know, there's some of us out there who really, you know, just love seeing the animals or the plants or the new rocks, finding new rocks and stuff like that. I mean, I understand that can sound very boring to some people, but it actually isn't, because the more you explore in this game, the more stuff you're going to see. And yes, you will see a lot of similar looking stuff, but you will also find really cool stuff too. And what's fun is to then get involved with the community. So you've been playing for a while, you've done all the stuff, you're starting to find things for yourself. Get involved with the No Man's Sky community, guys. And the No Man's Sky community on YouTube, at least, it is incredible. It's incredibly supportive. We got a lot of fantastic content creators. And But just sharing your stuff in the different Discords or Facebook groups or Reddit, you know, it's a lot of fun to find stuff that nobody's seen before and share it, I think. But that's what I mean, again, about, like, if this look of this game doesn't appeal to you, I really don't think you'll like it that much. So, that's an important factor. Because I know some games, you know, I've played games before where the graphics, I just couldn't get into it, you know? It didn't do anything for me. This one, I am in love with how it looks. Like, I love how this game looks. I could spend so much time just running around one of these planets, seeing what's on it. And if you didn't know, planets have a lot of stuff on it, guys. There's crashed freighters on planets, planetary archives, there's crashed ships you can find. There are other buildings of interest. There's a lot of stuff on planets. If you ever stop and actually, you know, take a look at it, there's a lot of stuff there. Can't warp the freighter there. So yeah, I mean, that's Endgame for me is helping the community, is what I would say. Making my videos, making little tutorials for the new players, doing my live streams, answering questions, doing the community night stuff. So Endgame for me is just being involved with the community and making content for new and returning players as well as existing players. But for somebody else, it might be totally different. You know, so I definitely know some guys who all they do is build. And that's awesome. You can do that. This game, if you didn't know, has a creative mode where you could you start with just like ready to go to build anything just about. Gives you almost all the building pieces right from the start and a nice planet, ship that works, and you can just start building straight away. So I would recommend that for anybody. I would recommend creative mode for anybody who wants to start practicing their building. Start practicing it in creative mode first. Just make yourself a creative mode save and start practicing there. The reason is that way you don't kill your part count on your main save. Because if you didn't know, that's another limitation we have here in No Man's Sky, guys, is there is a limit to how many parts you can build. So you will eventually hit a point, if you build a lot, where it says you can't build anymore. So at that point, you need to delete some bases. Now, the part count, I can't remember exactly what it is. Somebody in the comments can maybe correct me. I believe it's something like 30,000 total parts to a save. So that means to one of your saved games. So if you start a new expedition, for example, and then continue that expedition, then you will, I don't know why we came out here. I thought I was going to a different base. I don't have a base here. See, that's another thing. That's another endgame thing. You want to get yourself set up in different galaxies, you can do it like this. Like, so all I have out here, this is Galaxy 18. I just have a base computer just so I could warp back to it if I need to. Okay, yeah, I believe the chat is telling me it's 16,000 total per save. So, for example, if a new expedition comes out, you play the expedition and you finish it, and then you want to continue playing that expedition save, you'll be fresh to start building again. And a lot of people do that. If they, you know, they're doing big builds. So that's something you always want to keep in mind. But yeah, I would say Endgame really comes down to exploring, building, and just doing what you love to do in this universe. Because I've said it before, guys, and to me, No Man's Sky is not a game in the traditional sense like many other games. No Man's Sky is a universe with game-like elements put into it, but you're free pretty much to do whatever you want in this universe and carve out a little piece for yourself. And that is one of the things I love about it so much, is that and all the content, guys, if you didn't know, it can be skipped. You don't need to do any of it. I mean, I would suggest you do it because it will help you. but you don't have to do any of the missions it tells you to do. But the early ones, I definitely suggest you do because they are tutorial. But yeah, this is a huge game. This is a very big game. So I just want to stress that point. You're not going to get, like, to the level I'm at, like what you're seeing here with all this, you know, S-class freighters and all these S-class ships. This took me 2 years, guys, of playing a lot. This save has 2,500 hours on it. 2,500 hours. That's a lot. All right, looks like we don't have a base down here either. Just another base computer. But yeah, guys, so that's pretty much it for No Man's Sky Endgame. Now, they haven't put anything really in the game that's an endless grind except for Quicksilver. But again, like I was saying earlier, you know, I have plenty of Quicksilver. Now, I could get more, but why? Because I've already bought all the stuff in the Quicksilver shop that I want. So really, it's just the new stuff that comes out. So that's the only thing I could think of in the game that doesn't have like a cap on it. So yeah, you will be making your own fun in this game. And how people do that is different. I mean, what I do, explore, build, ship hunt, community events, and, you know, find things cool. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that little guy. See? This is why, if you don't explore, you're not going to see things like that. The whack-a-mole. Very cool. But anyway, I didn't want this to go too long, so I am going to end it here. But I just wanted to give you an idea of No Man's Sky Endgame, and if there is one. And my final answer to that would be, there's no endgame put in the game by No Man's Sky, really, or by Hello Games, other than the exploration. So, you know, I'd say planet exploration of all kinds of other stuff, ship hunting, building, all things like that is basically the No Man's Sky endgame. So if you don't like any of those things, then you might be done with the game after you finish, like, the story part. But if you love this game and you love the way it looks and like spending time here, dude, you can lose many hours, even after you've completed all the content the game gives you to complete. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I am Xxiou of Xxiou Games. Thank you, channel members. And yeah, thought I would do this one live. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.